What's up, NFL fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and don't forget to check out and purchase your copy of our latest football game plan book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. We have these available in both PDF and paperback form.
For the Redskins in this ball game, you want to keep an eye on Colt McCoy's efficiency. That's something that everyone will be watching because, again, they made the move to go to Colt McCoy instead of RG3, so he has to be efficient throwing the football to keep this offense on pace. And I believe defensively, they have to capitalize on the opportunities. Andrew Luck will give you 2 to 3 passes a game that you should be able to pick off. You have to capitalize and get the ball back for your offense, and you have to be able to sustain drives offensively. That's something that killed the Redskins last week versus the 49ers. They couldn't stay on the field. Even if you don't get touchdowns or get field goals, you have to be able to flip field position, and that all starts with being able to sustain drives. And for the Colts in this ball game, I would keep it inside with the running game. I would go with more of a double tight set, try to run downhill versus that aggressive 3-4 defense of the Washington Redskins, and perhaps pop one. Because again, when you're running inside, you have the numbers, you have those natural bubbles in a 34 defense. And I think that's how they can have some success on the ground. And those safeties can't get caught looking in the backfield. The Redskins do have a lot of speed at receiver, guys like Andre Roberts and also Deshaun Jackson that can get deep. So if your safeties are keeping an eye on what's going on in the backfield, they could get beat deep for a big play. And don't lose contain versus Colt McCoy. Let's not forget, he's a tremendous athlete as well and can pick up those cheap 3 to 4 yards on the ground. So you have to play with controlled aggressiveness versus a quarterback that can break contain and extend the play with his legs in the passing game and also hurt you with his legs running the football.
This week versus the Indianapolis Colts, the Washington Redskins will have to be able to stay on the field and sustain drives, something that they didn't do last week versus San Francisco. And I'm going to show you one way they can attack the coverage on 3rd and medium, maybe 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 10, but this is one way they can attack man and perhaps getting a rough situation or trying to generate a big play in the passing game. So what you're trying to do, you've been running the football all day long against Indianapolis. Now it's time for the play action pass or a situation where you're going to try to get these guys to think you're running the football, so you force them into cover 1. Now what you're trying to do is bring this guy over in motion. Let me show you one concept. What we're doing backside to try to hold this safety, we're going to run him straight up the middle of the field. That should take care of the safety, or try to pull this strong safety here. Again, we're trying to take this guy over across the formation and get a rub situation going. Now what we're doing with the guy that we sent in motion, he's running a turn route. So boom, he's going to stop right there. Simple read, simple throw, easy to make all day, every day. Now we're going to bring the tight end that's on the play side. We're going to bring him up, fake to the post, go to the corner. That should be open because what you're doing, is going to have this receiver work across the formation and run a hang route. He's hanging right over the guard. And what this does, again, if this guy comes all the way across the formation in man coverage and you snap the football about right here, these two guys probably will get caught in the wash. He's going to try to get over top this hang route. Now you have the turn route that's open, or you have your corner because this backer against this tight end is a mismatch. And that's one way. Again, this week versus Indianapolis, the Washington Redskins can have some success on 3rd and medium, which is, again, about 7 to 10 yards, 3rd and medium to 3rd and long. I think this play, trying to generate a rub situation versus man coverage, could lead them to success. Versus the Washington Redskins, you look at the Indianapolis Colts pressure packages against a left tackle, rookie left tackle, Morgan Moses, that didn't have his best game last week versus San Francisco. So that tells me, coming into this ball game, you want to attack that side of the protection and try to get RG3 on the ground. I'll show you what we're talking about here. We're going to send weak side pressure. We're going to drop in a zone blitz. We're going to drop the 5 technique, but we're going to send this outside backer and we're sending a corner blitz. So it's going to look like cover 2 pre-snap, but it's really cover 1. So what we're doing front side, simple. We're getting contained here. We're going to push him strong side A gap. We're going to get the linebacker, get a good bump and drop back into his zone responsibilities. We're going to tail off. He's going to back up a little bit, and he's going to be responsible for this receiver here, man coverage on the outside. As the cadence starts to wind down, you're going to walk your cornerback over. Free safety is going to walk over just a little bit to get in position. So now he's responsible for this receiver here. You're sending the cornerback off the edge. Now what you're doing with Morgan Moses, you're going to get a good bump with that 5 technique. Occupy him while the backer can loop around inside that weak side B gap. He's dropping back here. You can send that A gap pressure with the backer there. Drop him over the middle. Drop him deep in the middle of the field. And that's one way you can get cornerback pressure. Weak side linebacker can shoot that weak side B gap, drop in the 5 technique into this area here, this hook area, and that's one way they can get pressure and put a lot of strain on the protection on the weak side. Again, Morgan Moses had a bad game last week versus San Francisco. Hopefully he can improve. But if I'm Indianapolis, I see that and I'm attacking him full-fledged this week, sending double pressure his way, a zone blitz his way, try to occupy him, and that way we can get the cornerback as well as the backer on RG3.
Maintaining technique is crucial for a football player to have success, and sometimes you can get away with not being as consistent in that area, but when you are, good things tend to happen. For example, here versus San Francisco, Redskins cornerback Greg Dupree did a fabulous job playing the out and up by Anquan Bolden, while the flat defender Brandon Merriweather did his job by staying assignment sound. Both guys played their assignments well. Both were technically sound in what they had to do, and Dupree was able to be in position to make a play. I said all that to say this: the Redskins will have to play a clean game on both sides of the ball versus Indianapolis, similar to this, if they want to come away victorious. The Colts do a great job of attacking zone coverage, and you'll see right here versus Jacksonville, a nice flood concept with a corner route, the split route going down the middle, putting the fullback in the flat, and also dragging the tight end across the formation. And this is coming off play action, which puts the flat defender at the top of the screen in a bind. He's stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and as we run the play, you'll see Andrew Luck do a great job of looking off the 2 front side options first. This creates the space for the incoming crosser, which ended up being a big gain to Fleener that was able to get these guys out of a backed up situation. The biggest X factor in this game for the Redskins will be their pass protection. You can't put it all on Morgan Moses. He is struggling and he does have to play better, but across the board, they have to do a better job in recognizing stunts, picking up the blitz, sustaining blocks. Every quarterback back there this year for the Redskins has had problems with protection, and it all starts up front if they want to knock off Indianapolis. And for the Colts in this ball game, a look at the linebackers playing a huge role, not only in the second level pass coverage area, but also versus the run. The Redskins will try to come in and own the clock. They will try to run downhill. I think those linebackers, DeQuell, Jackson and company, will have to do a great job in making sure this game becomes Colt McCoy versus Andrew Luck. I like the Colts in this ball game. Very good offense, despite not having a dominant rushing attack. I think they'll move the ball well versus Washington and be able to put the ball in the end zone. And defensively, although Colt McCoy has had some success this year, more recently against the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think what you'll see is enough offensive firepower coming from Washington to overtake Indy's defense. I think that front seven will cause pressure and will cause problems for the Redskins. So I see the Colts knocking off Washington this week.
What's up, fantasy football fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. For all of your starts, sits, fantasy football notes, news, and tidbits, tune into our podcast, Football Game Plan Starting Lineup, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on our Football Game Plan Radio Network, which is located at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.
And I want to give a huge shout out to Colt fan forums and Redskin fan forums for always showing Football Game Plan support.